Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. To everybody who's new here, my name is Tanya and I break down geopolitical affairs in a way that actually makes sense. So today's video is about a set of tweets announcing 25% tariffs on India, hinting at an oil partnership with Pakistan and calling India and Russia dead economies. Let's get started. In his first tweet, Trump claims that India imposes some of the highest tariffs in the world on US goods, and he's not entirely wrong. India historically has maintained a trade surplus with US. But why does India keep such high tariffs? It's not protectionism for its own sake. India is actually a developing economy with a domestic market largely dependent on MSMEs. And key sectors like textile, pharmaceuticals and agriculture need protection from cheaper imports. Plus, its revenue structure is still very much reliant on import duties as GST primarily targets domestic consumption. Then he goes on to criticize what he calls India's non-monetary trade barriers, referring to the regulatory hurdles. For example, licensing requirements, product standards, storage laws, and data localization mandates that, according to him, unfairly restrict US businesses from accessing Indian markets. And one of the major friction points right now is India's continued oil imports from Russia. The US, as well as its allies, want global isolation of Russia. But India argues, and quite credibly, that its position is one of strategic autonomy, not alignment. India says that we do what's best for us, not for you. So in this second tweet, Trump says that US will help Pakistan develop its oil reserves. But the question is, does Pakistan even have oil reserves worth developing? I mean, it has some oil reserves, but compared to Russia's over 80 billion barrels, that is a little less. But the real buzz is around the potential offshore discoveries along the coast of Sindh and Balochistan. US firms believe that seismic surveys could reveal more oil and gas, but these are just speculations and no major commercial discovery has been made yet. And even in an ideal scenario for Pakistan, the whole process of oil exploration plus production could take around 7 to 10 years. So there's no oil flowing until 2032, and that too assuming that there's political and economic stability in Pakistan. Now the next question is, why would US help Pakistan develop its oil reserves? Does it need Pakistan's oil? No, actually, US is quite independent when it comes to oil production thanks to its shale boom. So it is not energy dependent on India, Pakistan or even Russia. In fact, India and Pakistan are net importers and US banned Russian oil imports in 2022. Now, why is US helping Pakistan? Are they friends now? Not really. Since 21 to 23, the relations have been a little strained because of US's withdrawal from Afghanistan, plus Pakistan's still towards China. But under Trump, their relations have seen renewed cooperation. So US is not helping Pakistan out of generosity. It is classic transactional geopolitics because it pressurizes India for its neutrality over Russia. It helps counter China's Belt and Road influence in Pakistan. It gives US access to Central Asia through Pakistan. Plus, it reasserts US influence in this area of Global South, especially as India charts its own path. Now, this tweet also says that maybe Pakistan will sell oil to India someday. Now, this seems like an impractical idea because, first of all, India-Pakistan trade has been suspended, especially after the abrogation of Article 370. Second, not just India, any country will do trade with countries that it trusts. So even if Pakistan finds oil, India is unlikely to depend on this specific neighbor. So a $1 million question is, can potential oil reserve discoveries in Pakistan make Pakistan rich? It could, but not Gulf-style rich. First of all, it would need a lot of discoveries, which is still uncertain at this point. Second, it would need political and macroeconomic stability. Third, it would need institutional reforms because oil does not guarantee prosperity. Take, for example, Venezuela, Angola, and Nigeria. Without governance, oil becomes a burden. So this might offer a fiscal relief to Pakistan, but it's far from being a golden ticket. Now, looking at this from an Indian perspective, how will the 25% export tariffs affect India? It will make Indian exports more expensive in US, which will hurt the export competitiveness, and it will hurt sectors like textile, garments, auto parts, gems, jewelry, pharmaceutical intermediaries, and IT hardware if included. And when it comes to long-term effects, India might diversify, look for alternative markets. Plus, even the US supply chains will look for countries like Bangladesh, Mexico, or Vietnam. But it also hurts the investor confidence in the US export market. So how can India respond now? Okay, the first thing that India can do is go to WTO and challenge the tariffs by filing a complaint arguing that unilateral hikes in tariffs violates multilateral commitments. Now, the second thing that India can do is negotiate with the US behind closed doors. Now, this is most likely if India thinks that this tariff is being used as a leverage and not as a permanent policy. Now, another thing that India can do, but it is very less likely because it is politically sensitive and economically risky, is impose retaliatory tariffs on selected US exports. But it probably will avoid escalation, especially ahead of US elections. Fourth option is India deepening its multipolar diplomacy, engaging in talks with Russia, UAE, Iran, European Union, UK, ASEAN, etc. Now, this third tweet calls Indian and Russian economies as dead economies. And looking at the numbers, dead might be an oversimplification. And as far as trade is concerned, India and the US recorded $129 billion bilateral trade in 2024. Can you just walk away from $129 billion trade? So this dead economies remark is not an economic diagnosis, it is a pressure tactic which punishes India's non-alignment plus undercuts its rising global stature. Now at this point, it is not about how India reacts to a few tweets. It is about how India navigates in a changing global environment, protect its interests, and keep the bigger picture in focus.